Before we actually go out and create our design library, we still have one more part to create, and that is the axle retaining clip. It's the piece that actually holds the wheel onto the axle and keeps it on the car. So let's create a new file real quick. We're going to use our Dragster template. Now this file is a little bit different than the others. We're going to orientate ourselves to the top view. Now that I'm oriented to the top view, I'm going to come over here to Sketch and create a new sketch. Now I'm going to line myself here to the top of the triad, just a little bit above it, not actually starting my line from there. I'm just going to draw an arbitrary line just above that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here and draw another line down to about right there. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and set some dimensions real quick. First of all, my length of this line right here is going to be here to there. It's going to be 1.5. Okay. Then I'm going to set a dimension from here to there, coming down off this. And that dimension is going to be 1.4 millimeters. And then this dimension here coming out is going to be 2.1 millimeters. So it produces me that. Now what I need to do is change the angle of that to, the actual angle we need to set it to is 150 degrees. So as you can see here, I've keyed in 150 degrees and I'm going to go ahead and accept that. So there's our sketch at this point. Next thing we need to do is an offset entities, which creates it copies a parallel line. So I'm going to select this one here. Notice I put it way over there. Now we don't want that. So first of all, let's make sure we set the copy parallel to 0.3, and then we will reverse that to the inside. So let's see if we can reverse that. So it's on the outside. Yeah, that looks good. Go ahead and accept that. Go back to our sketch command. We'll zoom up on this point here, and we'll make that work. And we'll come out here to here, we'll get that line command again. We'll come over here to this, and we'll select that. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'll set myself to, having set myself to the isometric view, as you see here, I have to do one more operation. And that operation is I have to come in here and I have to place a center line horizontal to this artwork. So I'll go over here and select center line, and I'm going to put a select horizontal and get infinite. I'm going to come out here and snap to the datum. So that basically forms like an axis of which I can rotate around. So I accept that, and I go to revolve boss base. And as you can tell, it's going to revolve around this one area here where I created that center line. So I'll go ahead and accept that. Now that I've got this revolve boss base taken care of, I'm going to go ahead and use the F key to fit it on the screen. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a rebuild of my part. And I do have a temporary axis turned on, so I'm going to turn that off. And I'll turn that temporary axis off. And I'm going to rotate around and click on that back face and set myself normal to it. Now with that done, again, I'll do a rebuild. And I'm going to go over here to Sketch, and I'm going to draw an arbitrary sketch just across this area here. I'll make sure I'm planar to that face there. So I'll come over here and I'm just drawing this sketch about so far. And then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to set and add a relation to that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this guy here, actually deselect it, come back over here, add relationship to it, select it, and I'm going to add a relation and click on it here. And I'm going to go and clear off all these here. And now I've got this, and I'll grab that point. I'm going to add what's known as a midpoint. By hitting the datum and the line, I can then come back and add a midpoint to that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'll come back to this in a moment. Okay, with the midpoint set on this line here, I'm going to go ahead and accept that. And I'm going to draw a line from this point here all the way up to this crease underneath the bottom of it on the center point of that part of the circle. And then come back here. And I'll accept that. I'm going to put a smart dimension here. And I'm going to set it to... Okay, while I'm in the sketch right now, I'm going to go ahead and select my features, and I'm going to go ahead and hit extended cut, extruded cut, and I'll set myself through all, and I'm going to go ahead and accept that. And as I rotate around, you can see it actually extruded all the way through that part of the part. So let's set ourselves normally back to the face. Alright. Go ahead and do a rebuild. Make sure our sketch is rebuilt. And we'll zoom out here. And we'll rotate that around. Bring ourselves normal to that. And okay, now with our extrude cut in the way we want it right here, we're going to go ahead and set ourselves to an isometric view, as you can see here. I'm going to go back out to view. I'm going to turn on my temporary axes, and then I'm going to take and select that particular extrude cut. I'm going to go down over here to where it says linear pattern. I'll come down to circular pattern, as you see here. Now what I'll do is I'll snap on the center axes that I just created. I've gone ahead and set myself to 6 rotations that you can see here, which creates 6 iterative cuts around that one area. I'm going to accept that. Okay, so that's put that in there as well. That looks pretty good. Let's go over here to our material, right mouse click, and we'll set that to a cast alloy steel, so it can give us kind of an appearance of what our axle clip's going to look like. I'm going to come back over here and turn off my temporary axes. So let's go ahead and save our file so we know what we have here. I'm going to save, just click on save. I'm going to come up here and put axle retaining clip number, just key in NO, number 2, and accept that. So there it is. Now once we've got this part completed, we're ready to go ahead and build our design library. We're going to come back and build our design library in a moment.